It's your girl, QueenMawel, and we're here with another episode of Queen's Sofa Chat. As you can see to my left and my right, I've got two amazing guests. We've got Ike London 1, and we've also got
Obadiah.
Lovely. Now, today, our topic or our question or our statement is going to be, can men and women be friends?
No,
Okay, straight to the point. Like, can you elaborate? What do you mean? No.
not really. I mean, depends what you mean by a friend. Like, what are we talking about?
Okay, so, like, do you want to say more? Like,
Right,
what do you
so
think?
If you're saying a friend is just someone that you have banter with and chat to and all that kind of stuff, then yeah, you can have a friend in that sense. You can have a guy and a girl that maybe they both work together, they chat, they gossip, they have just friendly chit chat. But let's be real. Let's say I'm in a relation, or no, let's say I'm in that situation and now I try to do something where I take that situation outside of work. People around are gonna think that I'm trying to move to her. So like if I say that, we chit chat, we have banter, whatever. But now I say, let's go, even if it's something, but even if I said, let's go McDonald's quick after, people might start suddenly thinking, these two, they left together, these two are spending time together outside of work. People might start to think that. Literally,
But is it not like what you think rather than what other people think?
Hey, well, what? Because then it's about what comes into play. So say I'm now in a relationship, yeah,
Yeah.
and I now am back an hour later, and I say, she's like, where were you? I was just like, I was just in Nando's or whatever with my friend, I don't know, where, and it's like, who's this friend? And I say, her name's like just the girl. So what's a random girl? Sharon. Her name's Sharon. People are gonna be like, who's this? Who's that? It's gonna cause conflict in the whole thing. So let's
Devil's
let's be
advocate
honest.
though, in terms of like if you're in a relationship or whatnot, and then you communicate, and like your girl or significant other is aware of the other person or like that they've been in your life or whatnot, does that not make it okay?
See, alright, that's where you've got certain. Alright, you can have. Obviously, there's not a one size fits all to it. There's no clear no or yes to everything. But I'm just saying, in most cases, let's think about it. Are you gonna go up to? You're generally taking some type of risk. I've actually learned this. I've learned this through the hard way. Trust me, because I used to just think, guys and girls can be friends. Yeah, whatever. I'll just go chat to. I'd ask him to go out and play pool or play FIFA or something. So yeah, I can just go and ask this girl. Yeah, come chill. Come, let's do. Nah, they'll suddenly start thinking that you're doing this. So now, now that I'm a bit older, I would only do that. Realistically, I'm only gonna take that sort of risk if I at least think that the girl is, somewhat attractive in some way. I'm not just gonna have people thinking that he tried to chat to her and she's not even like my cup of tea in that sense. Do you get what I'm saying? That's just how I see it.
So it's almost like you can't even ask a girl like, let's go out to just have a bite or something, because it's almost insinuated as you're trying to move to me. Even though that's not even the case.
I kind of hear him in some sense because I'm mixed on it as well. Because say like some girls that I'm friends from growing up from church, or they might even be like 4 years older than me or whatnot. If we're gonna go out to eat, we'll go out in like a group, or like there'll be 3 or 4 of them or whatnot. So I doubt it would ever. It could be a one-on-one setting. To be fair,
isn't that different though? Because you've known them people from like church. It's not like random girl from the street, you know.
Yeah,
so I wouldn't see.
Depends the context we're talking about as well,
I wouldn't see that as an issue. As a girl, I wouldn't see it as an issue because you've known, like you've basically like grew up with them. Like
basically grew up.
It's
so
not
basically sisters.
Yeah.
So I guess the parameters are more so.
Yeah.
We're talking more so people you've met on the street, maybe I guess like uni, whatnot, college, or like in and amongst the world, maybe even like events, and then how they sit in your life, basically, innit? I think that's
what
more.
you said. Context is important.
Context important.
Whereas if it's just another guy, you don't really need context that way. Like if I come back and say, I was just with this guy. His name's James or whatever. Yeah, I was just with James. I thought no one would even think about it. They'd just be like, they were just. So whereas when it's a guy and a girl, you need to have boundaries. So it's like, okay, You need to actually think about it more. So it's a bit like, so there needs to be other people around. That's one boundary.
But
You're
if
gonna
you
just
came
do
in
it
and you
one
were
on one.
like,
Say
because
again?
you know the way society is, if you came in with, I was with my friend Saffron,
Yeah, people would be like,
people would still, yeah, I get
people
it.
would start to suddenly
Oh,
think,
like Saffron.
So
Who's Saffron?
Yeah, so is this also in relation to like if someone's in a relationship or if they, actually we're talking about both, innit? Like if they're seeing someone or if they're not seeing someone.
I'll be honest. People even I think subconsciously people sort of don't really believe it in a sense, especially when, and I'm gonna put an age sort of thing in it. I think almost when you're like over a certain age, it's probably actually easier. When you're like over 40, that sort of thing, both of you are maybe married, have kids or whatever the case may be, and even then you still have to. But definitely when you've got people in their 20s, guy in his 20s, girl in their 20s, both single, say they're in the same workplace, same setting or whatever, somewhere where you both see each other regularly, yeah? And then suddenly people, like think about it, even if you go to the gym, yeah? If you then suddenly see these two people in the gym, guy and a girl, they always leave together. They always jump in the same car after. Our brain automatically just goes to, wow, they must be doing the same. They must be.
Yeah.
That's just where our brain goes to. Now, they might explain to you later on that, we're just friends. But even in your head, you're going to kind of think,
Do you
really
think it'll be like that from a female perspective?
No,
as well?
because I'm even trying to think, like, as a guy, if you're around girls, like, girls automatically think, oh, that might be her girlfriend. And a guy might think, oh, that might be her boyfriend. And then it makes, because some guys will feel like, oh, like, I can't hang around with you because people are thinking I'm in a relationship with you and I'm not even in a relationship. So now that's, showing, like, I'm not even
But I'm
getting
saying
girls
from your
now.
perspective though, would you insinuate, because I would say that's the first time I would agree with him in this conversation in regards to if we see someone jumping in you're thinking like,
Yeah, 100. I'm not, the first thing that comes to my head.
Is that the same for you guys, would you say, or for you personally?
Well, for me, if I saw like, jump, I'll be like, oh, is something going on there? Like, what's going on there? Like, even if I just see you two, like you or with another girl just talking to another girl, I'll be like, oh, what's going on there? Like, you guys are bare, like, we won't be like, oh, they're friends. Like, they're just friends. Like, you know what I mean?
Your mind does go to
saying.
that wiring.
And that tells us that in our brains, we know that we're not. It may be a case where you end up being friends, but normally, if you even think about it, most of the time,
never starts off with that first intention.
And also though, it's like when men and women become friends, it's always sort of forced in a way, and I'm gonna explain what I mean that. So it's always, you were both in a situation where you both kind of had to be there. So maybe you know them from school, or you both had to go to school. Maybe you know them from uni. We both had to go uni. Maybe you were both at the same job. You both had to go to work. It's never a thing where, whereas I could walk down and be in a massive football. I can see a guy in an Arsenal shirt, just chat to him, start chatting about football, whatever the case is. Next thing you know, and I've done this before, literally, oh yeah, what's your number? I'll text you about it. Yeah, come link up, we'll watch a game, we'll go, you know what I mean? Whereas that same interaction is less likely with a girl. You're not gonna have that, unless she also happens to be a massive football fan, but even still, you're gonna be a bit more careful with how you kind of invite her around. Maybe you're gonna invite her in a group and stuff. Do you get exactly? Because obviously,
and even then, like usually from what I've gotten, when that type of approach happens, and even a female usually thinks, oh, he's trying to move to me.
He's just using that as like
exactly. So it's like, I feel like there's a lot of I won't say stigmas, but like in regards to the way,
it's all girls' fault as well, man. It's all you lot's fault.
Right? How?
It's because
I think
it's partly guys as well. Because if everyone was mature about it, trust me, I believe that. I actually believe that men and women can be friends.
That's what I was saying though.
In a society, but because everyone's so immature about it, it's made a situation where we can't be. I can't, like that situation. I said, I can't just come back and say, I was just with my female friend after work for 2 hours. Your girl.
Nah, but it's even deeper than
doing
that,
what?
No, because it goes down to age as well.
It goes down to age, but also a thing of like safety, just relationship between men and women, the dynamics, and in terms of like the men that have been very weird or stuff to do with sexual assault or just whatnot. So like, and this is like you have social media, you have the news. Obviously, you had the news before, but now we have the news in such a different way and such a big magnitude where people are like you have to kind of be that on guard or aware of like what's going on.
Yeah.
So it's kind of in that sense, it's done a good thing in terms of like obviously stranger danger, but in terms of like I guess the friendship element, that's kind of gone out the window because of the element, because there are so many messed up people that have ruined it for the. Do you know what I mean? For the ones that actually. But I guess on the other hand, like there's more of a thing of like third spaces now, isn't it? Or like people doing activities after work or this and that.
Yeah.
So when you go to a place like that, actually, you can actually go to someone because they kind of know, oh, you're here because someone's close and you're whatnot, and you're into the same stuff, and they're much more open to, like when I go to like creative events, like a lot of people are just very eager to like network or just talk, like, do you know what I mean? So like those type of places are like much more, people are much more open compared to like generally just on the street or, I guess it depends as well, because you might go to an event and then that's a place where people are, do you know what I'm saying? But then you'll get a different vibe and people won't be up for like just being friends, do you know what I'm saying? So
but that's what I say. Even when
interesting.
But that's what even when I'm saying this girl, because girls will be like, oh yeah, he's just my friend. He's just my friend, right? Yeah. But then I always say this. It's always strange how there's a double standard that sort of exists. That's why I was going on with like this girl's fault, because as a guy, you're expected to accept that. Yeah, I have a male friend. Oh yeah, we go out one-on-one. We do whatever. We're just friends. And I always advise guys in that situation, okay, cool. You show up with a very attractive female friend. You tell her, people might say it's petty or whatever, but cool. You tell your girl that, yeah, me and my female friend, we're going here, we're doing it. You will see her flip. She will flip and turn it round. And I've seen this so many times, literally. And then you can literally turn around, but hang on a second, you go out with this guy, so why is that cool? But it's not cool for me to now do this. It's because I feel like almost subconsciously a lot of girls will tell that girl, she's not just gonna chill with you like that. She likes you. She's not just gonna be one-on-one with you. Whereas I actually, like I said, I actually think that people can, if you're being mature about it, people can actually be friends. But because of the way things are structured in society, it's like, all right, in uni, I actually went through a phase as well where I thought, no. People were actually genuinely in this situation. There was a group of maybe about 15 of us. There were about 15 of us. There were slightly more boys in this group that used to chill together. Maybe there was like eight, 9 boys, and the rest were girls. We used to like same music, all this kind of stuff, right? We used to go out to the same places. And I genuinely thought that everyone there, and it was the first, because all through school, it was just like, nah, girls, you're like, you can be cool with girls, like I'm saying, you have banter, but you're not going to just call one of them up to come to your yard, chill with them one-on-one in that sense, unless you're trying to move to them. But here I was like, nah, people are all here just to chill, have a good time. And then me and like one of the guys, because you know how in these groups you're always kind of closer to one person maybe, yeah? Me and this one guy, we then were like the last to clock that, yo, you know, this whole time, this person's liked him, they've been getting together, this person also liked her, and it ended up causing a massive problem between two of the guys, innit? And I was like, and all of this had been happening on the low. And I was just like, oh, right, well, I guess my old theory was right then. That whenever a group of men and women come together, inevitably what ends up happening is people end up getting together. That's just, it's in our nature to do it, right? Unless in cases where you're seriously unattracted to that other person.
Yeah, I can hear that.
But then I'm just thinking, like, what about if we go down to like age? What about kids that are like 5-6-year-olds? You can't tell them to like be friends with like, no, but I'm just saying in the state of like, oh, you can't tell them to be friends with a girl. Like, is it?
Do you know what? I'll be honest.
Is it like if you see a 5 and 6-year-old? Oh well, they're just like boyfriend and girl.
Society hasn't been imposing them. Do you know what I'm saying?
Well, this is what I'm trying to say.
It's a puberty thing as well, but I think it's very much like we build, especially that's why you see it change so quickly as you get older and older, teenagehood into your 20s, just because like the stigmas of society become much more concrete, and that's why it becomes much more like that kind of view that we're talking about in terms of men and women can't be friends kind of becomes more concrete as you go to 20s, then 30s and 40s. That it becomes much more wrong to even kind of, because I think about my parents in terms of like people that they had as friends in Congo and this and that. Like they would, when I look at photos, they would be like in groups and you know what I'm saying. As they get older, you really see them hanging around with less people. Do you get what I'm saying? Just with each other. So it's really interesting. But I was also going to talk about. It's also kind of like a cultural thing, and like maybe even like a race thing in regards to like say when I see other couples or this and that. Like I have met couples who are very comfortable with having friends and they've established that and they get, do you know what I mean?
I get what you're saying, it's a race thing. I do see like a lot of like other
there's
races.
different in like, where you're from, I think community wise, where you've been brought up and how normalized it is because culture as well. Because if you look in like an African and Caribbean community, you'll see a type of, do you know what I mean? A type of standard in that regard. But then obviously you look in, obviously you'll find anomalies within like the African and Caribbean, but you'll see a lot of people that are like, they've kind of had that talk or they both come from an angle like, we'll calm, like we can do this.
I get
it might be rare, but you see pockets of it, which is really interesting, and they have really healthy relationships as well. So I think it just depends, where, because some people have to sacrifice that because I have a friend that sacrificed that because their ex wanted. They were like, that's not happening. You know, like, and then they were like, we can't be friends. I was like, oh, cool, and then, but you might have a partner that's much more comfortable with that. So it does just differ, but it's interesting because obviously we're moving through time and like how social media sits. Some people have like algorithmic thinking, so like they're not thinking how they're thinking what social media is telling them to think as well. So it's interesting seeing how different people navigate. People that are much more comfortable, or like men that are much more comfortable, females that are much more comfortable, and they're like, cool, you can go like, I trust you, do you know what I mean? To do what you're gonna do and come back.
That's what I was saying. Like,
stems with trust, isn't it?
Well, I definitely don't think that, like for me, for example, I'll be real. I don't even ask what my girl's like doing. I will just like if she goes like it's complete. Do you get what I'm saying? I don't even get into that. Exactly. And like not to. I always think as well, man or woman, you should always have the mentality of like yes, like you love the person that you're with and all this kind of stuff, but on the off chance that something happens, I'm gonna be fine. Like it will hurt, but I will just move on with my life. I don't do the thing that a lot of people do where they almost punish the new person for something that's happened in the past. So you know where they say, my previous significant other, they had an opposite gender friend and it ended up being more than what I thought it was. So now the next one, I'm not allowing it. I'll be like, I take each person,
you're a new person
at face value, innit? Do you get what I'm saying? Until you give me that reason to doubt you or distrust you, I'm like, no. It's like, do you get what I'm saying? And it comes from being, but that's why for me, in my own unique little bubble that I live in, if you like, I don't mind it, but at the same time, I expect it not to be a problem when I go around having female friends, let's say. But like, I was gonna even make a point where it's like at my old job, there was a guy that I was cool with, right? But I used to hear all types of things about this guy because I was cool with a lot of the girls there as well, and I used to chat to a lot of the girls there, and they would be like, one of them would come up to me and be like, I think he likes me, you know, he asked me for my number. And then I'm like, but you're like the 10th girl that I've heard him say that. And I know that he has a girl and he has 2 kids with this girl as well. You know what I'm talking about. And I'm like, so, okay, do you know what? Genuinely, he might be that messy, innit? He might actually, I'll accept it. He might actually be dealing with all 10 of you. But he might also just because, like, look, I can admit, he was a good looking guy, yeah? So he might also just be a guy that's bored at work, because let's be honest, most jobs are a bit dead, right? He might just be bored at work and also it was mainly girls at the place where I worked.
You talk about that concept of work-wise and all that, innit?
Yeah, exactly. But it was more, but this was a female-dominated workplace, so there were more women than men. So you might also just be bored at work, and just going and talking and being friendly. But if you're a good looking guy and you're friendly with girls, it's almost like the brain, and we get this as well, guys get this as well. It's like the brain sees what it wants to see. Do you get what I'm saying? So like, no, it kind of, do you get what I'm saying? Especially if you're an optimist, innit? I'm an optimist, innit? Yeah, so if I'm like,
If you're an optimist.
yeah, I'm an optimist. So if I'm single and a pretty girl comes up to me, my brain will tell me that she likes me, and I almost think it's in my biology to do that, because again, that's what we're like. If I find her attractive, I want to make a move because I find her attractive. So my brain's almost telling me reasons as to why I should make a move. Now, once I make a move, if she says no, then cool, I was wrong, right? But at least initially, my brain almost tells me that, nah, yeah, go for it. Do you get what I'm saying? So it might actually have just been that this guy was just friendly with them. He was like, yeah, what's your Instagram? You just follow, yeah, what's your number? Like, what? But it doesn't necessarily mean that he had any intention of doing anything. Whereas me and him, when he asked for my number, because me and him used to chop it up all the time, just banter or whatever. When I can't even remember if I asked for whoever, but it wasn't like oh yeah, this guy. You just do you get, because obviously there's no like connotation. We're both guys, so there's no like there's nothing in. Do you get what I'm saying? Whereas because it's between a man and a woman, she thinks it's that, and that's where I mean why it's girl's fault, because that girl, she told on herself. When she was telling me that, and we're having a private conversation, and she's now saying, he asked me for my number, she's telling on herself, because now you've told me that in your mind, a guy can't just ask for a girl's number, because in your mind, you're taking that as him moving to you. So let's say whoever she ends up in a relationship with now, if she asks a guy for his number, he would have the right to say, hang on, why are you asking for his number? Because a girl can't just ask for a guy's number, because that means that you like him. Do you get what I'm saying? That's what I mean by. Whereas I don't think guys necessarily have or maybe, you know, let me not speak for all guys, but personally, I don't have the same sort of thing. Like if you want to have a male friend, now I'm not saying anything like wild, anything like, do you get what I'm saying? Obviously, there's got to be boundaries, and also as well, even if you have no intention of doing anything, there's certain things that you wouldn't do anyway, because you just don't want to test your partner's trust to that extent. There's no need to do it. So like, for example, yeah, you might be friends, or I might consider a girl to be a friend, but if it's midnight and I get a call from a female friend saying, it's an emergency, I need to talk to you about something, can you come to my house? I'm not going to go to your house. Do you get what I'm saying? And that's almost what I mean by you can't be all the way there friends with the opposite gender in the same way. Whereas
boundaries.
Exactly. Whereas if it's a guy, because even though if I went there, I would have no intention of doing anything. I would genuinely just be there to help with whatever situation's going on. That would still make my girl uncomfortable. Do you get what I'm saying? And she'd be like, what are you doing? Sort of.
And there's respect as well, like from the other guy. Like you can't be calling up someone's like man if you know that they're in a relationship and they're most likely with the girl at that time that you're calling. Sometimes I feel like it's respect. Like there's like respect in the fact of like, don't be calling at a certain time, because then it's like, why are you calling at midnight 1 a.m. to talk about what? Can you not wait like the next day?
But if that was now his boy calling and needed help at that time, it would be less of a problem, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
And that's what I mean by girls telling on themselves, because you're almost saying that, because almost, in my opinion, I'm almost saying that a friend, for somebody to be like you could, that's what I mean by, at the start when I said depends what you mean by a friend. You can be a friend to a certain extent if you just mean someone who you chit chat with, banter with, that kind of thing. But me, I look at a friend as virtually family members who are non-blood related, if that makes sense. So a family member, that's 24/7 access. Do you understand? Whereas, so my friends, therefore, because I look at them as family members, but just non-blood related, that's 24 access. But if you're 24/7 access, but if you're a girl, you don't have 24/7 access. By you just don't have it. Do you get what I'm saying? So therefore, that's what I almost mean by you can't really be fully friends That's just how I see it.
I
Though.
think
But other people have a different.
You talk about the boundaries thing.
Exactly.
I think
Yeah.
it just has to be strict boundaries in place, just for protection,
but then,
especially.
no, sorry to cut you off. But some people might say, why does a girl or a man and a woman have to be friends? What is the purpose? Like, what is the purpose in the friendship? Like, what does each gender benefit from the friendship? Like, why do they have to be friends? Like, what is it? Like, why do they have to be friends? That's the question. Someone might ask, like, what's the meaning of a man and a woman being friends?
I think the same as that. If you, at the true nature of it, if you look at a woman and a woman or a man and a man, like a lot of the fundamentals are the same. Do you get what I'm
Relatable,
saying?
yeah.
Obviously, sometimes it could be like networking purposes, or this person can get me into those rooms, or like they've got a trade or a skill that we connect on and we both thrive on, so like, and we help further each other. Do you get what I'm saying? A lot of time the conversation sticks within that realm. Do you get what I'm saying? So a lot of the time, like, successful friendships work within a container, like, and they don't. Do you know what I mean? They don't actually outspread or whatnot. I guess when it's damaging or crippling is when it goes outside of that and it begins to blur, or you don't know what it is. Do you get what I'm saying? So I think, a lot of it comes down to the, like, communication, laughing, experiences. You could just be friends with someone, like, say people you grew up with, and you're in similar communities or events, and then you see them, and then that's when you talk to them. When you see them there, do you get what I'm saying? You might have to check on socials, and even then you'll be like, oh yeah, that's my friend, that's my dude. Because when you see each other, like, you recognize they're not a stranger. Like, you've got a history together. Do you know what I'm saying? But it's not. So it's like there's that form of friendship as well. I think a lot of people think friendship has to be like this mad. They have to be like, say, like, you get to your 20s and you have like 5 friends, or like 10 friends you talk to the most. I feel like people think of that type of friendship rather than a friendship that's more so in the outer circle. Like someone you went to secondary with and all, like, you saw in ends and or whatnot. But then you see them, you're gonna say hi to them. Like, you might have mutuals. You're just gonna say hi to them. You'll chop it up, be like, "Hi, how are you?" That's still a friend, because the way you see someone you've met at like a third space or community, it still won't be the same as that type of conversation you have with them. Do you know what I mean? Because you probably know their mutuals. Do you know what I mean? You kind of know what they were doing during uni or this and that or whatnot. So I think there's people. I feel like social media has also kind of intensified that conversation.
I get what you're saying.
Pressure
I get what you're
as
saying.
well. So I think it just depends. Like, I think it comes back to your experience and where you are. And I think a lot of where sometimes, not that we're talking about the problem with it, we're just talking about the general conversation. But where a lot of like the problem with like male and female friendship comes from is actually just the people allowing people to form their opinion for them. So now suddenly someone has opinion for them about like how they should navigate this, especially like with men as well, like how they should navigate with this female, this and that, and then it just becomes like a war between genders a lot of times, or this and that, which is really interesting. But I think that's...
But to your point, what you can gain out of it, I'll be honest, sometimes you can gain. It's good to have an insight into female perspective sometimes. Because I'll be real.
For both ways.
For both as well. Because I'll be honest, like, I don't really like being around like men all day. Like I don't really. Do you get what I'm saying? Like I like I'll chill with guys, but it's very kind of
the mindset.
It's no, but not even just that. It's just for a period of time.
Particular way of thinking.
For a period of time, and then I like to go and have a different perspective, and it's a different type of energy. It's a different type of like, it's a different type of kind of interaction. Do you get what I'm saying? You get you get a different insight into.
Because that's the human experience as well,
exactly.
Isn't it? So it's like if you're just in one, you can become, especially the boy, depends. You could be around good men and bad men, but then you can become like that type of thinking, and that can become very.
Exactly. You know what I mean? But that's what I'm saying is where. So I think almost what you're saying is you're almost saying that where I wouldn't describe someone as a friend, you're almost saying they are kind of a friend, maybe just not as close. Because the way I would describe a friend is almost like, no, if that's a friend, they're like almost family. Do you get what I'm saying? But I just, and I'm quite like this. I'm quite particular with the wording I use in it. So like, for example, there's even some guys who I know from school, and I'll always kind of say, I'll never say, oh, that's my boy, because it kind of misleads whoever I'm talking to. It misleads them into thinking that they're cool, they're in the same group chat, and it's like, no, I actually haven't seen this, or I see it maybe a couple times a year.
Don't know what people
like,
are doing,
do you know what I mean? It's like we're not mad
and associating.
Exactly.
He's
just he's a guy that I'm cool with. I know if I see him, like, cool with, but it's not. We're not like boys in that sense. So I'm always careful with the word inside, and that's what I'm saying. A girl can never get to that level of closeness. Do you get what I'm saying? So whereas otherwise,
unless it's like, I feel like for me, if I'm being very honest, it's very much like, if I'm ever gonna regard a girl that way, it's usually if like we know each other from way back. Do you know what I'm saying? Or like we got family ties, or do you know what I mean? It's very much like, do you know what I mean? I've seen you from you're 11 or something, or do you know what I'm saying? It's like it's we almost grew up like siblings to where that's my friend. Do you know what I mean? That's my. Do you know what I mean? We've been in each other's lives. So I think outside of that, it's very hard, unless, because people go through different experiences. Like, there's bare humans. You know what I'm saying? So you just might happen to make a friend through like some mad experience, or through someone you just like circumstances just led you to becoming friends. You just don't know how that happened. Do you know what I mean? So like in terms of like a very natural way, okay, cool, which is like post, I would say 18, like cool, but like I feel like that's very rare. Like a lot of like friendship formation, or like say female friends that I've got now, I probably say all of them are from pre-18.
But let's even say I went to a wedding the other day, right? Now, when I was there, I can go up to a guy and be like, yo, bro, like, what's good? How you doing? Like, whatever. If I ain't seen him in a while or something, and I'll be like, yo, how you doing? How's it getting on? You're looking sharp. Trim's looking good. All that kind of stuff. If I say the same thing now to a girl, and I'm like, oh yeah, you're looking good. Yeah, our hair's looking nice. Dress is looking good. All of a sudden, there can be a different kind of connotation. Do you get what I'm saying? Because being complimentary to a guy, I might just be like, oh yeah, he's just cool. He's just saying, you know. Whereas being complimentary to a girl is like, like he can be making a move. He's very flirty, isn't he? He's very friendly. Do you get what I'm saying? It's almost going back to what I was saying about the that guy before at my old workplace, because he's just very like extroverted, like he's very friendly.
I think it depends on your perspective, because I'm just thinking, I have got friends, female friends, post 18, and it depends. It also depends how you're thinking of it as well. Because I'm very cool with them, and like we know what it is.
And they don't take it.
No,
in
but
a
I'm
sense
just saying,
of like,
I've been.
They don't take it in a sense of.
They'll just be like, oh, he's just so nice. Like he always compliments. He always like.
Yeah, but even then, we just know that we're G's as well. Do you know what I'm saying? And like, to be fair, I was friends with them like 19, 20, and they were like, 20, 23. You know what I'm saying? And like even one of them is in a relationship as well, do you know what I'm saying? And like they're comfortable having friends in, do you know what I mean? I'll go to her barbecues, her birthday, and it's just always been like, that's like my sister, do you know what I mean? So it's like,
But that's what I'm saying. I've even done that. I've even been like that. And that's what I'm saying. I had to go through a period where, no, hang on. People actually think that I'm moving to them. Like, people think that I'm moving to them. It's like, because then I've even had people at, like, again, using like schools or workplace. I've had guys will then come up to me and be like, oh, is something going on between you and something? And I'm like, nah, like, I just chat to them or whatever. And I think I remember this one time in particular, there was a meeting. And then me and this girl that I was like good friends with or cool with, is how I would describe it. At the end of the meeting, when we're all walking out, she is then leaving. I'm just like, hey, one sec, just wait up, I need to chat to you. That's what I said to her. I remember it specifically because about a couple weeks later, the guy who I was like cool with, he then asked me, is something going on with you? Because I remember at the end of that one, you told her to wait for you. and then because you need to chat to her about something, and then she just waited and like all that kind of stuff, and then you just walked, and he's like, and it just seemed a little bit, and I was just like, oh no, that's just how I chat to people, isn't it? Like if I said that to you, you wouldn't be thinking. Do you get what I'm saying? And that's what I'm saying. In our brains, it's almost like we have to try to be friends with a girl. Do you get what I'm saying? So as in, we have to deliberately avoid certain things. Is almost what I'm getting at. You have to like try, whereas you don't have to try to like flirt with a girl. It's more natural. Is almost what I'm saying. Whereas you have to be in our brain. It's natural for us to just you see an attractive girl. It's natural for you to go and
I think it also
her.
comes down to like how comfortable you both are, or how much you both know what it is. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because if you both trust each other to know what it is, it's like very simple.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of a lot of my female friends, like they know they'd probably bang me in the face if like I tried.
If you tried something,
do you know what I mean?
Would they?
Huh?
Would they? I'm just saying, would
Well,
they?
that's another thing you gotta
like,
get
would
at.
they?
That's another thing you gotta sometimes.
They like you assume they would, but I'm just saying, would they? Like, I'm just being they were like,
They
do
would.
you think
I
they
remember I
would?
used to have one female friend that I actually did like.
Yeah.
And then,
But
but she like what girls do. They're very smart though, because they'll just do the thing of like they'll pretend like it's not happening.
Yeah.
All right,
and that's what would that's what would happen. Do you know what I'm saying?
That's an interesting scenario then. Are two people friends if one of them actually has romantic feelings for the other?
In a sense, yeah, because one person like you're choosing to stay. Obviously, you're hurting
That's what I mean.
because
You have to try.
you're being proximity, but you know what you're doing to yourself. Do you get what I'm saying?
But that's what I'm saying. You have to try.
So then are they
So
actually
You have
friends?
to try to be.
You have to try to be her friend. If you have romantic interest, you're
because
trying.
romantic, like part of being in a romantic relationship is friendship, innit?
Yeah,
You know what I'm
part of
saying?
it.
So, like, in a sense, you are still their friend. You get what I'm saying?
But then you can't.
You just have feelings on top of that. Do you know what I'm saying?
And you can't say all of what you want to say. You have to kind of, what's the word I'm looking for?
You have
What's
to
the
swallow
word?
it.
No, it's like you
Suppress
have to. That's it. Yeah.
You have to suppress
suppress
but
parts
that's a you
of it.
problem. Do you get what I'm saying? Because now you're not there for friendship anymore.
Yeah.
You're infatuated now. So it's like it's now changed for you. It's still the same for them, but it's changed for you. And then
Okay.
that's a different conversation. Do you know what I'm saying?
Okay. Yeah.
But we're saying, is it possible to be friends? Yeah, because I've been on both sides. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, cool. With that, I had to remove myself from that. But on the other side, it's like the ones that I'm friends with. It's like cool. Like we know what it is. Like obviously, if it bloomed into something else, then that's a different story as well, because it's then like that would probably just
Started off as close friends.
Yeah.
Well, I almost say,
But it's like it's one of them ones. It's like, yeah, I think it's just like that type of friendship, because like it's not that we're not acknowledging that it is different. I think like being very aware and acknowledging that it is different and being comfortable in the difference is what makes it possible. If you're not that, then you're not gonna last in that, because
and that's what I mean.
do you know what I mean? And if you are like insecure or like because there might be people that just have experiences from that. Do you know what I mean? From cheating or this and that or whatnot. Do you get what I'm saying? So then that already taints it. So that's not possible for them. And then they have to find someone who's comfortable to live within that world again. Do you get what I'm saying? So it just depends on your own. I haven't had that person, so that's probably why all like the female friends, and that's like they haven't had that. Do you get what I'm saying? So it's like, they're not with someone that's had that. So it's like we can just like exist. We can just exist in the worlds that we're in. Do you get what I'm saying? In the friendships that's been built, because we're not coming from those points of like we've had negative experiences within having a mixed relationship, mixed gender friendship. Do you get what I'm saying?
But that's what I'm always saying, that when there's male female friends, there's rules. Do you get what I'm saying? There's kind of like guidelines.
There's rules. Unsaid rules, like
whereas
even though
with same gender friendships, there's not the same rules, if that makes sense.
But there's different rules though.
There's different rules, but it's like it's not quite you haven't got to be. Whereas,
it's not as militant as like.
Whereas with a female friend, there's certain things where I'm like, you know, you gotta be certain things like don't.
Cross lines,
it's
not as comfortable.
Exactly.
It's not as comfortable. Yeah. So it has to be like
exactly. You have to have, and you have to both be strict on that boundary as well. You have to be like.
But if you both know, that's what I was saying. If you know what it is,
exactly.
It become very relaxed. It's a thing where like it's blurring. Then it's like that's when it's hard. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's not friendship. Because friendship shouldn't be hard. Friendship should be easy. Exactly.
But then what also happens as well is I've had this as well. I'll be like, I might be like friendly with a girl or whatever the case may be, and then I will get into a relationship, and she will automatically like be less friendly, innit? She'll be more distant. Like if I see her, she'll still interact, but she won't text me out the blue as much or whatever it will be. Do you get what I'm saying?
A lot of people actually have respect.
But it's almost, and that's what I'm saying. She's conscious of the fact that I'm a girl, he's a guy, we were cool, but he's now in a relationship. So she's conscious of the fact she now has to stay. And that's that male-female thing.
I think my female friends, they would do that. They would do the same.
And there's been the same thing as well. It's a bit like...
and guys do the same thing
exactly.
as well.
That's what I was about to say. Because if I find out that a girl is now in a relationship, I'll be real. I've watched too many films and too many things. I'm not trying to have my name flash up with my photo flash up while she's with him and he's suddenly asking questions about me. And I've got bother coming
100%.
and he's asking, who are you? Or all this kind of, no. I ain't trying to be involved in all of that. Do you get what I'm saying? So that's why on both sides, people like when they find out, they take a step back, typically. Because we both almost understand that we're cool, we get along, but it can never be like the full on. And that's where I guess we're defining it different. Where I'm saying, to me, a friend is like someone who's virtually family. But I'm almost saying that, whereas you're saying a friend can still be someone who you're just cool with, they're just not necessarily as close a friend.
But even then, I'd still agree with you in the sense of like, I'm not just going to go like anyone that I knew from Timbuktu or from like Germany is my friend. Like I'm very much like cool, even though we don't talk anymore, like we still had I know you're a stand-up guy, do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
So I can call you my boy from a distance, but I'll still be careful of who, do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
There's certain guys you probably know you don't chat to as much, but it's like you knew like you spent enough time with them to be like cool, or like you've got you and another close friend co-sign them, but from a distance. So then that's kind of your boy from a distance, you know what I mean? So I think in that regard, that's what I meant. Would you say the same thing in regards to...
It's annoying though, because like just going like off what you guys are talking about, girls like, because I'm talking about my experience. Girls just can't be friendly for some reason. It's like it's seen as, you like him, because like obviously when I was in college,
because that's how men
think. Know, in the group. No, but that's what it's so annoying.
I told you it's the same thing.
It's annoying because
if I see a girl that I'm attracted to, and I find her very attractive. Now look, okay, fine. Maybe not all guys are like this, but in my head, remember, I'm a guy and I'm an optimist as well. So if a girl is very attractive to me and she's coming up, showing teeth, being very very friendly, touching you and stuff like this, I'm gonna think, hey, let me shoot my shot. Like she might like me.
But what if
I'm not saying she definitely does. I'm saying she might not. That's true. She might not. But in my head, I'm thinking, hey, there's a chance there. You know, like the everybody hates Chris thing, innit? What's his friend's name, innit? Greg. I'm gonna think, hey, you're in there. That's what I'm gonna think. That's what my brain tells me.
Setting, like if you're in a group setting like this, in a group, like what I'm trying to say is stemming to my like when I was in college, we all used to hang out like a group, girls and boys.
But actually,
and what happened?
Not to interrupt, but in a group it's easier to see, especially if there's a lot of other guys around, because then if she's only giving you that energy.
No, I don't.
If she's only giving you and not any of the other guys that energy, then I'll say you have
how
more
do you know
reason
that
to believe.
Though? How do you know that though? Because that's the thing, you're assuming
I'm not saying
that,
it's guaranteed.
but
I'm just saying it's more
so
chance.
obviously when I was in college, there used to be like a good size of like girls and boys hanging around together in the group, right? And you got some shy boys in the group that are just like very, very quiet, just kind of background. So I used to be that girl that just want to like make everyone feel like you can part of the group, like feel comfortable, don't be shy. We're all hanging around, we're all teaming, we're all talking. So like I'll just be like, I'll just go up to them because I'm so friendly. I'll be like, what's your name? Like, why are you just sitting there all on your own? Like, come join,
You're
or like, what's your name? Yes, because that's how. No, but But then, for example, would Obed know that I'm like that to all of them? He would just assume, like straight away, because obviously when I said to go, he was like, you weren't moving to me because you asked for my snap, and I'm like, because I'm just trying to like get to know you in that friend's basis. Why do you straight away think I'm moving to you? And if I was moving to you, it would be very different. And I'll just be straight to the point. If I was that confident to come up to you, like to chat, have a conversation, I was just trying to make you feel included in the group and not feel like a background and like an outsider of the group.
Well, that's really interesting as well, because around that age as well, it's like you're saying that was like college, so like that's very much the time and that's very much the environment where it's like, especially where like you're on social media, well, in our generation as well, like you're very much on social media a lot and this and that, like everything's a thing. Do you know what I'm saying? Everything's a thing, like the way you and obviously some of us are learning at different paces as well, and a lot of us have different social cues, but especially you have a lot of, around those times you have a lot of like female heavy groups, male heavy groups. Do you know what I'm saying? And then you have people who are, do you know what I'm saying, more, some people that are less confident, more confident. So it's a thing of like, when you've got a more extroverted person or this and that, it's a thing, do you know what I'm saying? Or it's like it's like I went to, school that I went to, you had a lot of, like boys' school and girls' school. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So like, when you're coming from mixed school, you're very attracted to different people. And then the people that went to like a boys' school, girls' school, like, or the other boys, they were like, this guy can talk to girls like that. Like it was a thing, like talking to a girl for them, because they came from a boys' school, do you know what I'm saying? But a lot of the boys that came from a mixed school, just like, just talking to girls. So it's like, it's really interesting, like, and that's what we talk about. It's like about like the hardwiring and like where you, like the way you're brought up, like the environments, and
like, that's a good point you make, because I have a friend who's a Muslim, and not to say that all Muslims are like or whatever, right? But obviously in his form of Islam that he practices, it was quite a strict one. So they have like separation of even at like weddings, like the men and women have to sit separately. And he was adamant, no, men and women cannot be friends. Like, why am I talking to you outside of, unless you're in my family, why am I speaking to you? And to him, it was almost like a respect thing. Like, it's that, no, like, unless I'm making an approach and I'm trying to, I'm not going to just speak to a woman like that. So and that's almost linked to the boys' like school sort of thing. Because the boys' school thing, they're going to be, especially if they're around boys all the time, they're literally going to have a view of girls are the other half of human beings that I just moved to. You don't interact with them platonically. You just, so that makes sense almost. Whereas if you're in a mixed school, you're going to be like, well, I'm used to having girls around. They're not like this fascinating creature that, you have to just move to every time you see them. Do you know what I mean? So it's kind of, and that's almost what I was saying as well, because it's like, you have to remember, to your point, what you don't realize, is that, and I know there are a lot of guys like this, because it's a bit like when girls say, men are trash, or men have loads of girls, isn't it? You have to be, some men have lots of women. Some. Most guys, and there's actually stats on this, innit? Most guys, your average guy, you walk down the street, your average guy, he probably hasn't spoken to a woman in months, let alone slept with one. He hasn't spoken to a woman in months, probably, right? So when you're there now, I'm not saying it's your fault, but when you're there now being friendly to him, right? He's gonna think, oh my God, like, what's going on? Like this doesn't normally happen for me. Like that's how some of these guys are thinking.
Yeah.
Like I got it sends text to my phone all the time, and it's always a girl at work, and he's always like, oh, I think this girl's feeling me now. I think this girl's feeling me now, and I'm like, do you know what? She might be. There's a possibility, but she's probably not. Do you get what I'm saying? She's probably not. It's just you don't talk to enough women in your life. So anytime one actually is polite and speaks to you, you think that, oh my God, like this is it. This is my chance. Like, do you get what I'm saying? And that's not to take the piss out of most guys or anything like that. I'm just saying that guys, okay, I want to ask you a question. When you walk down the street or travel wherever, how often do you see a guy that you genuinely think is that guy's attractive? And if he came up to me, I would give him my number and actually entertain him. More than entertain, I would go along with it. How often?
Well, not in the street. So
No, I'm not even saying, but I'm not saying you would give it to him in the street. But I'm just saying, as you travel through the street or as you travel on your way to work, how many guys do you see that are actually attractive?
0. I would, what, 2%? Like, no, it's not much.
And I'm not even gonna ask for myself, because I know what my view is if I was to ask how many women I see. But I ask, how many women do you see if you're out and about walking down a how many women do you see that you think, oh, she's pretty.
Couple.
You reckon? So
When I step out?
Yeah. How many do you think? So on your commute to work, or if you're walking down a high street or wherever, say you're out and about for a significant period of time.
Good amount.
That's what I'm saying.
You can say a good amount.
We find women more attractive than women find guys on average. I'm not saying like for individuals, but I'm just saying that there are more attractive women than there are attractive men, if that makes sense. As in, there are guys who will say, oh yeah, she's bad, she's bad. Whereas girl, it's not like that. Do you get what I'm saying? But it's not like some guys on there, like,
what would you say?
But remember,
you know what I mean?
like girls put an effort, like looking good when they're going out. Do you know what I mean?
I'm just
Whereas
saying
guys, if they're just do you know what I mean? That's what. If they put in the effort and like look nice, because the only time you will see a good-looking guy looking good is like events. Or when you're going to parties, or sometimes weddings and stuff like that. So when you talk about streets, they're probably going work, you know, day to day going work, or maybe going to the shop. So they're not gonna like dress up looking all nice. Whereas some girls dress up to just go to Tesco or go to the shop, like you know. So that's why I said
it's a social thing, like
it's not much. If we rephrase the question of how many do you see on a night out and stuff like that, then there'll be a lot.
No. So that's what I'm saying. I wasn't talking so much as the reason for it.
Yeah.
I was saying just the result. Whatever the reason for it is, like why women make themselves more presentable. I'm talking about the result. The result is that women walk down the streets and have men staring at them, have men catcalling them, trying to chat to them, all this kind of stuff, right? Even average, or girls that I would say, oh, she's quite average, will have been approached in the streets by men. Whereas an average guy, he's not getting that same level of attention from women. Do you get what I'm saying? It's not. It's weird how it works, because people almost think that it should match up equally, and it's actually not, because the average guy is not getting that same level of like interest from the opposite gender. Do you get what I'm saying? And that's what I mean by, so when I'm not saying it again, it's not your fault, but I'm saying when you go and you're friendly with a guy, an average guy is just going to be thinking, oh wow, she's like showing a lot of interest in me. And that's why an average guy as well, in his head, he can't even be friends with a girl, because anytime he interacts with a girl, he wants to turn it sexual. Do you get, like, a lot of average guys are like this, right? That's what I'm saying. One guy who was on my text asking me for advice all the time, right? So, and whereas if that's why you as well, you can tell guys who have had more experience with women, because you can tell, because they're not as, like, for want of a better term, they're not as thirsty around girls. Do you get what I'm saying? Because they're used to being around women. It's a bit like, it's like anything, you know, if you're used to, well, it's a bit like they always say, people who have money, old money, is very quiet. You know, someone could have been rich from their generations and generations. They just dress very simply. Whereas someone who was poor, grew up poor, struggled for money, and suddenly comes into money, boom, flashy with it, flaunts it. Do you get what I'm saying? Because it's like, nah, I spend it, I'm not used to having it. So it's like with anything. I'm not being critical of people who do that, by the way. You can do live however you choose. But I'm just saying that that's why you can also tell. Guys, it's funny, isn't it? It's almost like guys who are used to being with a lot of women can actually have more female friends versus men who don't have a lot of experience with women. What I tend to find is that they can't really keep female friends like that, because anytime a girl's around them, they just give off that like thirsty kind of vibe, that thirsty energy, and it just puts them off. Do you get what I'm saying? So that's almost what I'd say. But nah, yeah, I mean, I'd say I think they can be, but just not to the same degree that you can with like a guy, if that makes sense. You just because you're always gonna have that kind of. You don't want to cross into that grey area. Yeah, exactly. You don't want to cross into that grey area sort of thing. But
so, any final takes on before we end? Any final takes on what you think?
I think just love and kindness, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just love and kindness, and just like, just you don't have to think about it too much, but you just need to always make sure you're just self-aware. Not even self-aware of what's happening, but if it feels like anything is changing, that you just communicate. Do you know what I'm saying? Because that's when things just start getting misconstrued or misthing or not said or half said. That's when it just becomes messy. But if you're always, do you know what I'm saying? Because friendship and anything takes work, innit? Like relationship takes work. Do you know what I'm saying? It doesn't have to be hard work, but it just has to be. It has to be like conscious work. Do you know what I'm saying?
that's what I
maintenance, you know what I mean? Like picking up a car, do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? It's interesting, yeah.
Like little tip for the guys out there, I'd always say that's why don't wait to make your move. Don't get stuck in the friend zone. If you like the girl, just make your move straight away.
Yeah. Just be
that way. Yeah. If you make your move straight away,
you know what it is.
You've probably not got all in your head about it.
Yeah.
You've made your move straight away, so you're not too invested. That's 100%. The irony. If you move quicker, you're not as invested. You get the yes, great. You proceed. If you get the no, well then it's not that big deal to you because you don't even know her yet anyway. So you haven't built it up in your head like that. So you can even probably actually just be friends with her now anyway, if you're mature about it. Because I don't really. You shouldn't care too much whether a girl is interested in you like that anyway. Not if you're moving early on, straight away.
Yeah.
And then the next step is always just respect whatever boundary the other person's put in place. If they say no, and they're not interested, get the idea out of your head. Don't then try and be friends with her, be nice to her, buy her all this stuff and all that kind of stuff in the hope that you're gonna change her mind and then get mad when she starts dating them. Don't do that. That's moist. Don't do that. Just if you choose to then enter into a friendship, quote unquote, with a girl that you're really invested in, then that's, as you said, that's on you, innit? So, that's how I'd always say, man. But direct, open communication.
Be straight up. I'll just say be straight up, both parties. Just be straight up. If you're feeling her, you're feeling her. If you're not feeling her, it is what it is. Just be straight up, guys. And And then
also as well, you'll make it easier for those of us that do just want to be friends because there's no suspicions as he's just waiting 3 months to make his move. Like, you get what I'm saying? So that's another thing as well about women.
Well, you have it. So make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and also
comment, subscribe.
Yes, you heard it from my guest. And let us know what you guys think about
this episode. There's a hype button as well now.
Yeah, lol. Bye.
Press the hype button.
Let's see how long that was.